There we go. Hey, all right. Here I am, I think. Yeah, okay, cool. Looks like I'm showing up. Hello and welcome to DGST 395. This is a live stream for Section 2 of DGST 395. Section 2 is scheduled for 2:50 Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's about 2:50 on Monday, so we're getting started with the first day of class. So, hello. I've got, great. Somebody just said hello in the Twitch chat, so great. Hi, good to see you all. It is actually really good to see familiar names online, even though we're not seeing each other face to face. You know, it's been kind of, a weird time and it's unusual, but it's good to kind of reconnect with something that I did think ended up going pretty well in the spring, the DGST 101 online. Many of you were in that online in the spring or over the summer. So I'm kind of getting to see some of you again in the same modality. So that's kind of good, right, to see that. But also eventually, maybe we'll be back face to face, maybe even just in a few weeks. So we'll see. But we are online for now, and it's going to be a little different this time. I've learned some things, and I'm trying some new things. Hopefully, for one thing, hopefully the audio is good. So if let me know, I guess, if how it sounds. I've got a new microphone, I've had it all summer, but I don't think I had it during 101. So if you remember that, it might sound better now. I don't know. Hopefully it does. Otherwise, I'm still using Twitch, as you can see, and yeah, live streaming. I figured Twitch would be easier than Zoom. Zoom went down today, but of course I didn't know it was going to go down. But Twitch is easier in a lot of ways. It's the first day of class. I'm going to do most of the talking anyway in a face-to-face class for the first day, so might as well just be me on screen. Zoom takes more bandwidth because it has to go both ways, but Twitch just going one way tends to work pretty well as far as bandwidth. It's similar to YouTube, so hopefully it's going okay for you. But if you are having issues seeing me or hearing me, or if it is out of sync or anything like that, please let me know, and I'll try to make an adjustment if I can. But okay, great. Yeah, thanks, Amber. So this is DGST 395. Many of you were in 101 with me as the instructor, so you already know me. Some of you were not, so I will introduce myself briefly and then introduce the class. A lot of what I'm going to need to talk about today has to do with structure and logistics, but I will also try to cover intellectual, conceptual stuff as well to make sure you're in the right place. So this is my 12th year. So I think I'm starting my 12th year at UMW. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Communication and Digital Studies. We are our own department now. That became official in July, that the Department of English, Linguistics, and Communication no longer exists. There are now two departments. One is the Department of English and Linguistics, and the other department is Communication and Digital Studies. So I am in the latter. I will, however, be teaching English classes still. I'm going to be splitting my teaching 50-50 between the two departments, but I am housed in or based in the CDS department. And I will be, all my English classes are also electives for the CDS major and the digital studies minor. So I am still primarily supporting that program, but also supporting English as well, which is, I still really think of as my home discipline, but we're changing what we mean by disciplines now. Associate professor digital studies. I did my PhD work in video game studies, and I continue working in that field a little bit, not as much as I used to. I've been more interested in electronic literature and creative computing over the last 2-3 years. I've developed some new courses along those lines. I believe I might get a chance to teach my games and culture class in the spring, possibly in the winter, because we are going to have a winter term this year. But I don't know. If that's something you're interested in, definitely, I guess, stay tuned. You'll be hearing more about the January term. I don't know, soon, I guess. I don't know exactly what the communication strategy is going to be for that, but apparently it is a thing that we are going to do, and this is going to be the first time UMW has attempted that, but we'll see how it goes. The thinking was just that there's, because of the adjusted fall schedule, there's an unusually long break between the fall and the spring semesters, and so some people were like, hey, we might as well try to squeeze in a class there. So we'll see how that works. I think it will be very difficult to do a 3-credit class in that amount of time, but maybe. We'll see. So anyway, this is Applied Digital Studies. This is a sequel to Digital Studies 101, Intro to Digital Studies. Okay, hopefully it will. Cherry Meg, hopefully it will. Either, if it doesn't work out in the winter, I might just do it as one of my regular spring classes. So there's a good chance it'll work out either way, one or at least one of those ways. Yeah, so saying this is Applied Digital Studies. I guess I'll get into a bit more of the conceptual content of what this class is about. But as just a general introduction to it, if you recall from 101, whether you had me or Professor Stommel, Professor Blevins, the way that class is designed is that you cover a lot of ground, you touch on a lot of different things, but a lot of those touches are kind of shallow, or introductory, like you kind of learn about a lot of different things, but you don't go very deeply on very many of them, if any. But for Applied Digital Studies, we're going to go deeper on fewer things. So we're going to cover fewer things, but go deeper on them, if that makes sense. And the deepest you will go will be on a project that follows your own interest. So you're going to be designing and building and carrying out a large-scale digital project that you design yourself. And so as far as a topic, that's something that hopefully you pick something you're interested in and that you want to learn about, because you'll be doing that in that project. There will also be some things that we do together and some things that are deeper dives than what we did in 101, but those will be, we all do those I'll get into that later, but there are topics that I'm going to be giving you to learn about. And then as far as your big project, though, that's going to be something that you design and explore on your own, but I will prepare you for that. There will be lots of things that we do to build up to that. Okay, so let's talk about logistics. This is a hybrid synchronous class, and this is a synchronous online day of class, so that means I'm speaking to you right now. There will be hopefully a chance for us to be together face-to-face, and so that will happen sometimes. The schedule, roughly speaking, is a live stream like this on Mondays, and you do not have to be physically present for that. You don't have to watch it in real time, but I recommend it. It's easier for me to engage with you this way. Like if you have a question, you can ask it on, just on the chat, and then I can answer it here, or, I can also do it later, but it's a little bit more efficient if I'm just right here. Or if I see like a bunch of people have the same question, I could even just change my plan for the day and try to address whatever is going on. So I really want you to watch these live if you can. But that said, I understand maybe you can't, or maybe things come up, or maybe you miss one. So these will also be archived on YouTube. So if you missed this, you might be watching this now on YouTube, and that's fine. Those are on my YouTube channel, Zach Whalen. So youtube.com/Zach Whalen. And actually, let me show you that real quick, because I mean, you may know this already, but I've got these organized in playlists, and so, I don't know why I didn't realize this before, but I have discovered I can customize my channel page so you can find the playlist a bit more easily. So I'm going to have live stream archives down here. I just have one so far for my graphic novel class, but I'm going to have a separate playlist for 395, so you'll be able to see them there. Yeah, so hopefully there's nothing, it'll show up automatically. I've already designed the page to show those, but there aren't any yet, so that's why they haven't shown up yet. But they will, and they hopefully will be easy to find. It will be a lot, right? If I'm doing these for an hour, maybe 3 of these a week, 3 hours a week, there's going to be a lot of content to go back through. So that's another reason maybe to watch it live. Because if you miss something, or if you miss a day, kind of going back into the day that you need could be kind of daunting, honestly. And so I don't know, that might be kind of a drag. So try to watch these live if I think you'll experience them better that way. Okay, so the other thing logistically is going to take me into Canvas here, and I have a survey that I've put out in Canvas, and I'd like for you to fill this out as soon as you can. So this is your one main piece of homework. There are two, but this is one of your main pieces of homework to do before Wednesday if possible. So it's a quiz in Canvas, but it's ungraded, so grades are whatever anyway for this class, but it's an ungraded quiz here, so there's no right or wrong answer, even though I have noticed that Canvas actually does tell you whether you get a question right or wrong, which is weird because there is no right answer. I don't know why Canvas insists on doing it that way. But some general questions. If you get stuck on these questions, don't worry about them. Just skip them. It's not a big deal. The one that is a big deal that's important is question 6. So this is where I would like for you to tell me about your availability. So I know some of you don't care and you plan to be here Wednesday or Friday or whichever. Some of you strongly need to be here Wednesday but can't be here Friday or whatever. You might have a preference between Wednesday and Friday. But some of you also may not be planning to attend face-to-face at all for health reasons or other reasons, and so I want to know who you are. So we meet in HCC 327. That's the classroom for this class. That's the active learning room. This is the one where 101, probably where you had 101. That's the classroom that has 6 tables around the edges of the room. It's a very large classroom, but even given how large it is, our capacity for that room is 12. So I can't fit all of you in there. So we have to divide it up. And my idea is that I meet with half of you on Wednesday and the other half on Friday. So on Wednesday, if you're in that half that meets on Wednesday, you'll go to the classroom and we'll have some kind of discussion, some kind of guided activity, something going on there. At the same time, the other cohort will have a parallel activity or discussion or something going on that they'll be engaging with online, but not in person. Sometimes those might be coordinated between the two, but usually not. Usually they will be pretty independent, I think. So then if you are in the online class, in other words, if you're not coming face-to-face at all, you'll have your own track of things to do. You'll just be doing whatever that online thing is for that particular day. But what I really want to do is put you in cohorts so that you have kind of a medium-sized group of people to be in touch with, right? Because this is a fairly large class. I'm putting both sections together in Canvas and on Discord. So we're talking about 50 plus people. Which is kind of big, but I'm hoping that if you look at that half of your section or the group of people that are going to be not going to be attending face-to-face at all, I'm hoping that's like ends up being a similar number of people. So you'll have that group as kind of your immediate point of contact or your group of people to coordinate with when we do group activities or peer review or anything like that. So I want to figure out how those cohorts are going to be arranged as soon as possible, and then I can start building the schedule around those a little bit. It'll be easier if I have those. So let me know what your availability is. If you have something else to say, then just explain it, but otherwise these hopefully are pretty straightforward, these options here. Also, please tell me which section you're in. You're in section 2 if you're watching right now, probably. So that's the 250 section. Obviously I can look it up on the roster, but the way that Canvas is going to print these results to me, it'll be easier, like it'll show up it'll be easier for me to see if you just tell me which section you're in. If you have a domain, let me know what it is. You probably do. Okay, the other thing that I would like to know logistically is, so because there are 2 sections, I'm streaming twice. Like I did a live stream at 1:40 and I started another one at 2:50 covering the same content, right? Covering the same introduction to the class. I can keep doing that, but if it's possible for me to just do one stream, that would be great. I would like that a lot. So, but that'll only work if there aren't any conflicts. So like if you are in the 250 section and you have another class at 140 that has synchronous components or face-to-face components, you can't do both. So, in that case, I will have to do 2 streams, and I can do that, it's fine. But it would certainly save me time and energy to just do one. But let me know. We'll see. I'm hoping to just do one, but willing to do 2. That's fine. Okay, so Discord. I haven't mentioned Discord much yet, but I will in a moment. Just if you have a nickname on Discord, and you'll see what I mean once you get into Discord, let me know what it is. A lot of them, a lot of you choose to use your real names, and that's fine. Many of you use nicknames though, and that's also fine. I know some of you by nickname, but not all of you. So just to make sure I know who's who, make sure you just tell me here in this field on the survey. Okay, so Discord. Let's talk about Discord a little bit. Discord is the common denominator. So that's the place for us that's essentially our virtual classroom, right? So that's meant to be fairly informal most of the time, a place for you to hang out with your cohort, a place to interact with each other, with me, to say hi. It is similar to Slack. I have used Slack in like the spring semester even, and earlier versions of this class in 101, you might be used to Slack. Discord is very similar in a lot of ways. I need to cough. Hold on. I need to cough. I'm gonna mute my mic for a second. I'm not used to this much talking. I might have to do that again in a second. Excuse me. I need to get more tea. It's actually not tea. It's yerba mate. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like tea, but it has more caffeine, and it's not as doesn't taste as good. But I like it. It's like grass, basically. It tastes like grass. I like it. Anyway, so what was I saying? What was I talking about? I was talking about Discord. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the big difference between Discord and Slack that I like, that was persuasive to me in switching, is that in Discord you have one account and then you can join multiple servers. So you don't have to keep making new accounts. For Slack, it's each server has its own account system, so you need a new account for each server that you join on Slack, which makes sense from their point of view. But from my point of view, when I literally am the administrator of 20-something Slack workspaces now, it's a lot for me to manage, but it's also a lot for you as students to remember, because you might be in another class with me, but you have to sign up for a whole new account to have the same kind of interaction. And then it's which conversation are we, you can have direct message conversations in all of them, or it can be a lot. Whereas Discord, it's a bit more centralized. Discord also, to me, feels a little bit more informal, and I like that. Discord also integrates a bit better with Twitch. There probably is stuff in Slack as well, but for Twitch, for example, if you look at my profile on Twitch right now, you'll see that I'm streaming. It tells you that I'm streaming. There's probably other things, I think there's probably a bot or something I can do to have it send an announcement in Discord when I'm getting ready to go live. I have not totally explored a lot of that, but it seems like it's set up a bit better to integrate with Discord. The other thing I might do in Discord is at some point it might be useful for us to have to watch something together, like a video, and I believe it is possible for me to do that via Discord, whereas it might be tricky either technologically or legally for me to do that over Twitch. I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard it's possible for me to stream video in Discord, including things like Netflix. So how well that will go is I don't know. I don't know how good, I don't know what the quality would be like. But there definitely will be opportunities or moments where it will be useful for us to all watch a particular episode of a TV show together. And Discord might be a way to coordinate that and also to actually broadcast that, just so you don't all have to go sign up for Netflix just for this class. So we'll see. That's to be determined. But that's another reason possibly that Discord could be superior to Slack. Okay, so yeah, I think that's about it logistically. Let me see. By the way, if you have questions, you should feel free to pose them either in the Twitch chat or in the Discord live stream chat channel. The Twitch chat is public. It's on the stream, so bear that in mind as you put things there. The Discord one is not, except that it's public within Discord, so people in our server can see it. Yeah, either way, just let me know if you have questions as I'm going. I will be coming back to certain things, I guess, and it's there's a lot to go over, so I'll try to cover as much as I can. And I will be wrapping this up in about 20 minutes, so just kind of bear that in mind. I want to keep this roughly, the same amount of time that a face-to-face class would be. Okay, so let's take a look at the syllabus, and then I have a frequently asked questions page, which is incomplete, but I can answer those questions live here. I know the answers, I just haven't written them out yet, so I can tell you them. And then I will continue adding to the content here. This is a syllabus. Much of this is pretty straightforward, I think. Happy to clarify. I think one point I wanted to clarify is this quote here. I like quotes sometimes. It's helpful to kind of think about an idea in a sort of crystallized way. And this quote by Charlotte Mason is, I think, a good one, but I think it needs to be unpacked a little bit. She says, self-education is the only possible education. The rest is mere veneer laid on the surface of a student's nature. So Charlotte Mason was an educationalist, I think is the actual word for her, in England in the early 20th century and late 19th century. It's just, other people have said similar things. I just like the way she expressed it. This idea that when we're talking about education, when we're talking about learning, this is something that you do as the student. That's your job as a student, is learning the thing. And self-education doesn't mean that I'm I as the teacher am not involved. I will give you things, I will show you things, I will teach you things, but whether you learn it or not is up to you. And that's something that I think we all kind of know, but this class really does emphasize that. I'm going to be giving you a lot of things. I'm going to put a lot in front of you, and some of it you will enjoy, I hope. Some of it you might find confusing or frustrating. That's okay too. But ultimately what you take from it is directly related to what you put into it. And there's a lot of opportunity to put a lot into this class and to get a lot as a result. But you do have to do that work. It does take discipline, especially while we're online. Without that face-to-face contact that we get in the typical semester, I do worry that some of this class might slip away from you. The content might be kind of too much in some ways. I've already dialed back a lot, but I don't want to. I don't want to scare you about this or overwhelm you, but it's just something that you're going to really need to commit to being consistent with. And that's why those cohorts are going to be so important once I get those set up. But this is more just like meant to be an inspiring, kind of challenging statement, right? Like this is time to do it. This is time to get it done. So these other quotes are actually very much related to that. I think just the Charlotte Mason one gets to the heart of it. But I think this is also a nice inspirational quote from Neil Gaiman. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to do things badly, as he says, because you're doing them. You're doing things, and that's important. This is especially true as we get to a little bit of programming in this class. I have more to say about that in a moment, but there will be some programming. There will be some code. Some people find that intimidating, and that's okay to be intimidated by it. It's also okay to do badly at it. Like, it's not something that, I don't know, there's a lot of people invest a lot of emotion and anxiety around code and programming, and I want to help you, help train that out of you, I guess, if that makes sense. I program a bit, I do code stuff. I still find it very frustrating at times and alienating at times. That's normal, I guess, is what I want to convince you of. So if you find what I'm presenting to you frustrating and alienating and confusing, that's okay. That's normal. That's great. You can move past it, and that's what I help you do. But it's okay to struggle. That's part of what we're going to be experiencing. Okay, so let's, on that note, on that cheerful note, let's take a look at the overall goals. Like, this is where I hope you end up by the end of the class. Right, so we're going to learn about analyzing, critiquing, and responding to contemporary digital culture. If you notice, if you recall, for Intro to Digital Studies, these learning outcomes are very similar to those outcomes from Intro to Digital Studies, except these go up a notch, or like these kind of take it to another level. Right, so if you remember for 101, one of the big structuring ideas is that digital studies has to do with digital creativity, digital culture, and digital methodology. This is a class that really leans into digital methodology, and that's your big project. So getting there means we do also need to understand how people do things creatively with computers, and also to understand what are the important questions that we need to be asking and exploring as we work on digital projects. So that's the culture part of it. But yeah, really the methodology is where you can really get into things for your digital project. In terms of that project, obviously there's lots more to say about that. That more or less takes over the class around midterm and beyond. So we have some time to get there. But one of the big takeaways here is not just the project itself. Like, hopefully you produce something great, you can add it to your portfolio. It can be a really valuable contribution to a conversation or something. But also just learning how to plan something big and then carry it out, I think, is a really useful skill. And so that's something that I hope you take away from this class, even if your project doesn't turn out that great. And that's fine. I mean, that actually is a pretty reasonable outcome in some cases, because the biggest thing I have to end up, the most frequent thing I end up having to consult with students about is dialing back the scope of their ideas. Like, many people come to the big project and they conceive of something that's much bigger than they realize, or is going to be much harder than they realize it will be once they come up with the idea. So I try to get that down to a more doable scope. But understanding things like scope and like building a plan for it and then executing it, those are things that that's a skill you can apply in almost any career. So this is something that I hope is helpful for you as well. Of course, we're also going to be thinking about audience, because I want you to make something that can have some impact, that can have a meaning beyond simply doing it just to complete an assignment. And that's the applied part of applied digital studies. So lots more to say about that in the future. Okay, so I will talk a little bit about the structure. I think most of the I guess the statements down here, the policy stuff, is pretty straightforward. I mean, a couple of nuances that are different because of the COVID-19 thing, and then there's this longer statement about COVID-19 at the end. This is boilerplate. Actually, the provost just gave us this and said we are all required to put this in our syllabus. But I guess a couple of big takeaways are, you'll have a specific place that you're assigned to in class when you attend face-to-face. You are required to wear a mask. We are also supposed to be wiping down our areas as we arrive and then when we leave to really do our best. This is it's going to be challenging, but if we're going to make this work, we all have to contribute to little things like that, and I think we'll be fine if we can all do that. But we'll all have to commit to it. So if you have any questions about how that's going to go, let me know, but that's the basics of it. The only other thing I wanted to mention from the syllabus here is this bit about the structure. This will make more sense on Wednesday when I can actually take you through a node, but I think of a node as an organizing unit of structure for this class. And a node is kind of like a module, but more focused, and also it's going to have a very specific kind of structure. Actually, let me see. Is this? Yeah, this is a draft of it, so I don't want to show it to you yet because I might be changing it a bit. But I'm going to be sharing this with you on Wednesday and explaining how to work through it. It'll be something that we work through together, but it'll be something that I will need to explain. A node is going to have a central question or topic. These are some of the possibilities: race and technology, toxic fandom, algorithmic oppression, surveillance capitalism. These are big topics, but really important topics, and these are things that we're going to try to explore in at least 3 ways within a particular unit within the node. First of all, there will be some kind of factual, nonfiction essay or something that will give us some intellectual context for these things. There will be some works of fiction or media that explore these topics in some way. And then there will be a bit of programming to help us understand the kinds of processes that are involved in this idea, this concept. So to talk about algorithmic oppression, for example, I want to make sure that we understand what algorithms are, and you get some experience working with algorithms, like writing them or evaluating them, so you understand when we read something about algorithmic bias in search engines, you'll understand the kinds of things that are going on programmatically under that kind of thing. So that's where programming, that's the most direct contact with programming, hopefully, that we'll have is trying to apply it to understand specific questions. Okay, so that'll make a lot more sense hopefully on Wednesday, as I said, when I can walk through it. Let's see. I should be okay. So we're doing okay on time. Yeah, just checking. But my voice is getting tired, so I'm looking for the end here. Let me see. Are people online? Oh, great. Hi. Oh, good. Somebody's new to the UMW. Welcome to UMW. I'm trying to respect privacy, so I'm not going to call names out on the stream if I can help it. But good to see you. Welcome. This is a strange way to be welcomed, but it's a great place, UMW. Okay, so the FAQ page on Canvas hopefully has some questions that you are thinking of, things that you may have in mind. There may be others that you have in mind as well, so feel free to raise those questions either on Twitch or Discord. Also, as you can see here, I don't have these all filled in yet, so I'm working through that, but let me do that now, and then I will also add these in, type these in later. So an online synchronous day of class, that's what today is. That's one way that this will go. The other way that this will go would be online and doing something to coordinate it with your cohort. That might be a discussion or an exercise or some kind of miniature project that you work on together. And that'll be managed over Discord. On Discord, you can do a voice chat if you want, or a video, group video chat on Discord, or you can just do a text chat. I don't think you will usually need to do a video chat for the things that I'm going to be creating for you, but it's always an option. You could even do Zoom or something like that if you find that easier. But you'll have some autonomy as a cohort, so you'll be able to decide what strategies will work best. Okay, so how will you know when to come to class? Once I've figured out who needs what in terms of scheduling, I will put you into a cohort, possibly as soon as Wednesday. If you all can answer that survey, if everybody can answer it today, then that would be great. But I will put you in a cohort, and that's it. So if I put you in the Wednesday cohort, that's when you need to come to class. And the schedule is already kind of there skeletally. But if you're in the Wednesday cohort, you cannot come to class on Friday, and vice versa. If you're in the Friday cohort, you can't come on Wednesday. On Mondays, I will be live streaming. I'll probably be doing it from home like I am now. I might do it from the classroom depending on what else I might need to do that day or whatever. The classrooms are set up for live streaming, so I can do it there if I need to, but you should not attend those in person. You don't need to. I guess you could technically, but I don't want, we can't go over the limitations in the classroom, and they are very limited in terms of how many people we can get there. So I would rather you not attend those live, unless there's some really compelling reason to. So yeah, you will know very soon. What is this class actually about? I've covered that a little bit, the three things, right? Creativity, culture, and methodology. They are also showing up here, just like they do in 101. But 395 is a deeper dive. We just take a closer look, a harder look at some of these things, and ultimately you build a project. And so as far as the main concepts of this class, you kind of get to design a big chunk of that yourself. So it's kind of hard for me to answer this question, what is this class actually about? But it is about all those things and then that one big thing that you do yourself. Will I have to learn how to program in this class? A little bit, but this is not a programming class, and there is no way in which I'm going to be evaluating your programming competency in this class. If you can program, great. If you learn how to program in this class, great. But if you don't, it's okay too. I have definitely dialed back my expectations, or how much programming I intend to build into this class compared to last year. There's a textbook I used last year called Exploratory Programming by Nick Montfort. I think it is excellent, but it's a lot. It's a lot to learn from it. And so Nick has said that, I believe he said that the open access version of that book is going to be coming out soon, and so that way we can access chunks of it, and so I can maybe assign chunks to that and we can work through it that way, or I can just create my own things. But it'll be, I think, fairly manageable. So I just saw a question in Twitch from Terry Meg. Do these live meeting times mean starting this week or when we come back to the campus? Well, live, I'm not sure I understand your question. We can't go face-to-face at all until, September 14th or so, whatever that date is. We can't, so on days whenever, so as far as being in a Wednesday or Friday cohort, that's respective to face-to-face. Class will be happening at 2:50 Monday, Wednesday, Friday anyway, right? So that'll be either a lecture like this or a coordinated activity. Wednesday will be another live stream like this at 2:50. But otherwise, even if you're in the cohort that's off for that day, you're still doing something that day. If that makes sense. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, so let me know if there's more, if I can do better. Yeah, feel free to ask a follow-up if that didn't answer your question. Okay, so that was the programming though. Again, programming is variable. It depends on how much you want to get into it, honestly, just to kind of put it a different way. Do I have to use Discord? Yes, please do use Discord. Think of Discord as the virtual classroom. So every day you're assigned to class, at least 2:50 Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you should be in Discord whether you're there face-to-face or not. You should I just have it running all the time on my computer, so if someone sends me a message, I should see it pop up. So kind of think of it as just something in the background and a way to have a conversation. It does take a little bit more energy to engage in Discord or online communications sometimes, but please do that. That's a way to have a community and a sense of involvement with each other, and that's something that's really important for this class, but also just in general. It just takes a little bit more effort just to say hi in Discord sometimes, or to ask someone a follow-up question, or to just use a reaction emoji on somebody's message in Discord. That's just a simple way to kind of show that you're there, to kind of acknowledge someone else's contributions. And you can have fun with it. You can do things with GIFs if you want to, but just being there in Discord is really important. So please be present in Discord. I'm not going to be, to kind of jump ahead to this question, I'm not going to be penalizing you if you aren't there, but I will try to pay attention to that. And I do want to, certainly I will pay attention to and record who's there and who's not there face to face. I'm not going to penalize you for missing it, but I do want to know if somebody's absent, because like, let's say you were absent for 3 weeks in a row, that would be cause for concern, and I would want to reach out and see what's going on and make sure you're okay. But in any case, please be in Discord and think of that as your attendance, essentially. Okay, so do I have to watch the live streams when they're broadcast? I talked about this earlier. No, but I recommend it. It's good to watch live. I also just find it easier if I'm watching somebody live. If it's a longer bit of content, like these hour-long things, I find it easier and more palatable to me as an audience member to watch that live as opposed to watching it later. I guess later the advantage is you can play it back at double speed and get through it quicker. I definitely do that, and it doesn't hurt my feelings if you do that for me. But that's something that if you're just watching live, it may be a bit easier to kind of pay attention and tune into that. Let's see, how will I know which days to attend class? Oh, I think we already covered that. I think, hopefully. Wait, I have this question twice. That's why I already covered it. I should fix that. Physical space of the classroom. I think I mentioned this already, but it's the 6 tables. Tables 1 and 3 have been kind of spread out a little bit so that there's a bit more room, but you'll have essentially half of a table to yourself in that classroom, and then there's some area in the middle as well. So we'll have room to spread out. It'll be awkward. it'll be really awkward actually for a bit. One thing I'm concerned about is talking loudly enough for you all to hear me in that classroom. Like to be honest, struggle with that anyway, just my voice. So with the mask on, I'm a little worried about how that's going to go. But you know, we'll do our best. I'll do my best. Your attendance will be recorded. Like I'm going to pay attention to who's there, and I also can check like if you're logging into Discord and checking things on Canvas, I can see that kind of thing as well. So I will pay attention to that, but I'm not going to penalize you for failing to do it. I might follow up. Like if you haven't signed up for Discord by Wednesday, I will probably send you an email and see what's going on. But I'm not going to penalize you if that's the case. What is my current grade and how am I doing in this class? So this class, like I said, the node projects are going to be the first thing that we spend time with pretty much up until midterm, and then the project will take over. Each of those like nodes and each of the components of the project, I'm just going to be grading on a check plus, check minus scale. That scale, I like that scale because it's minimal, but it gives me enough room to say, hey, you're on the right track here, or hey, maybe you missed something with the check minus. But none of those are actual letter grades. These are not meant to be equivalent to letter grades. For example, a check minus does not equal a D, a check plus doesn't equal an A. It's just a way for me to indicate kind of what direction you're headed in, basically. So if you're getting a bunch of check minuses, that's something that we should probably talk about and see what's missing. Make sure you get on the right track. If it's a bunch of check pluses or checks, great, keep doing that. But ultimately, I do have to give you a letter grade. That's what Banner requires me to do, and I have to give you a letter grade on this traditional scale. It is, by the way, I don't think it has been decided yet whether we're going to use the credit, no credit scale for the fall semester. Last I heard, that was still being debated, so I don't know yet. But if that becomes available, of course, we will use that. But I tend to recommend keeping the letter grade because if you do well in the class, you should get a letter grade. That'll affect your GPA positively, and we want to do that. That's a good outcome. But anyway, your final letter grade for the class is something that you will make a proposal for. Like you will look at your work, think about your big project, think about your node projects, your participation, and then make your case, basically. You'll be given an opportunity to rationalize whatever letter grade you think is the most appropriate. And I will probably agree with you, whatever that is. I tend to agree. I tend to agree or you more often bump up than down in terms of my response to those grades. So it'll be a conversation, but it'll be something that a conversation that you will start. And it's a little tricky if you've never done that before or you haven't done it very much. It is a little awkward, but we'll work through it. We'll prepare for it, and then you'll be fine. Okay, so does this class have a midterm or final exam? No, it does not. There's no midterm. The final thing is the self-evaluation and grade rationale, but it's not an exam per se. But it is the last thing, so we can call it the final, but it's not really a final. The midterm usually happens around, there's no fall break this year, but it would normally happen around fall break. And that really isn't a midterm, it's just a transition from working on the first 3 nodes into working on the project. So there's a interesting transition point at that range of the semester, but it's not a midterm exam in any sense. And feedback, I like to do feedback with videos, kind of like, using OBS, which is the software I'm using to stream right now. It actually works quite well for recording video feedback. At least I think it works well. I hope it does. You can let me know if it's not working well, but it helps me, especially for digital projects. It's easier for me to kind of browse and work my way through it as I talk about it, as opposed to typing up a bunch of stuff. So it's actually easier for me to do video feedback than written feedback. So hopefully that works for you too. If not, let me know and I can adapt my methods. But it seems to be going well. I did that pretty much exclusively in the spring and summer, and so you've seen me do that. So you have some experience with that method. Many of you do. Okay, I think those are the questions. I think I answered them. I hope I answered them. I attempted to. I don't know. Any more questions? Anything else I can cover? I'm really, my voice is really tired. I don't know if you can tell. My voice is giving out. I am not used to talking this much. And this is the third hour of me teaching online today. So it's a bit much, but I heard a Discord sound. Does somebody have a question? Nope. Okay, maybe. Oh no, just someone new just signed up. So hello, welcome. Again, I'm trying not to say names on the stream, but it is good to see you. This is great. Make sure, by the way, you tell me who you are on the in that survey, so I can make sure to get your names associated with your nicknames associated with your real name, so I know who's who, and then this will help me follow up with anyone who has not found their way to Discord by Wednesday. So the plan Wednesday, as I said, actually let me see if there's anything else here I can show you. Yeah, so I've hit the highlights in the syllabus. Hopefully that's helpful. The schedule is very much a skeleton still. You're welcome to look at it just to kind of get a sense of due dates and things. And certainly these are the things when I definitely plan to live stream. It's basically every Monday and a few Wednesdays. But I will probably stream on Friday as well, just to, because we're still in this online only mode. But on Wednesday, I will introduce you to the first node. I have not completed that yet, but if I can, I might have a kind of autonomous kind of activity for Friday, something that you can work on with your cohort. But I need to have your cohorts by then too, so I need you to respond to that survey. So do that survey, and then I can hopefully get you into that. But I will fill in the schedule as I know it. But I will mainly be using Canvas announcements to update you with things like that, like when a new node is available or when something is coming up due. So let's see, what else? The groups, this will be the link to the groups page once I have your cohorts, or working groups is another term that's synonymous with cohort, as I've been saying it. Contact, if you do need to contact me, let me show you this quickly here. This is my contact page. Lots of ways you can contact me. I've got 2 email addresses. I check both of them. I'm on Twitter. This is my Facebook. I don't really use Facebook for much official, so Twitter is probably better if you have something you need to send me as a DM. But you've got so many options here. Honestly, email is probably what most people do, and that's fine. But here's a link to my YouTube page where you can find the archived live streams. This is my Twitch channel, obviously. And here's my mailing address if you want to send me a letter. Or a contact form. You can also contact me through the website. If you want to have a conversation, schedule a conversation, this is my general office hours, 12 to 4, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I am available much more often than that, but I will definitely be available 12 to 4 unless otherwise scheduled. What you can do is actually you can hit the Book Now button and you can reserve a time in that range, a specific meeting. Like you can say, I want to meet at 12:20 on next Thursday, and then we can have a conversation that way. That meeting could be just through Discord, like we can chat through Discord, or we can set up a video conference, whatever you prefer. It's just a way to make sure that we're both online at the same time, and that's often more efficient than going back and forth with a bunch of emails. So I encourage you to use that. It's a quick sign up thing here, Book Now with Appointlet. Okay, well, I am really tired of talking, so I'm going to wrap this up. Unless there's any last minute questions here, I'm really kind of struggling with my voice, so I need to get some more tea or something, or yerba mate. Yerba mate is, like I said, I really like it, but it doesn't do well. It doesn't do much for my throat. Man, I usually lose my voice the first week of fall classes because of all the talking. Like I usually, I go through an adjustment period, and I guess I'm going to be doing that again, even though I'm online for all of these. So, oh well. It wasn't that bad over the summer classes, I guess. Maybe I just wasn't streaming as much. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up. Like I said, Wednesday I will introduce you to the first node and take you through that, and you'll see what I mean about the kind of 3 different kinds of content there, and show you how to get started with that, and a few more things to introduce you to the stuff I haven't covered yet today. Your homework again is make sure you do that survey and sign up for Discord and join our server and say hi in the introductions channel. And also you'll see people saying hi, so say hi back to them. Say welcome when you see people show up. You can do an @ message to reply to them, or just an emoji reaction just to kind of acknowledge and welcome other people as they join in. Okay, great. Well, I'm going to sign off here. Thanks for watching, and have a good afternoon.